Hey everyone, welcome back to 996. The Howl Utah Mammoth win 5-4 in overtime against the Pittsburgh Penguins. I'm speechless. I can't even believe I'm sitting here saying the Utah Mammoth won that game. The whole Mammoth Nation was just frustrated for 40 minutes of play, and then Utah finally starts scoring, and they end up getting two huge points in this game. Man, there's a lot to talk about in this game. They're facing Pittsburgh. They're facing an inexperienced goalie. Pittsburgh played the night before. We'll get to that game as well because that was a lot of foreshadowing that Pittsburgh versus San Jose game Saturday night. It's a Sunday afternoon game between the Mammoth and the Penguins, and 48 seconds into the game, the Pittsburgh Penguins score to make it 1-0. A pretty bad clearing attempt or pass by Sergachev here. I got the screenshot showing you have to connect that pass. You have to make that pass in the NHL. It gets intercepted by the Pittsburgh player. It's sort of maybe offside. A lot of fans would have wanted Andre Tourigny to take a look at it and challenge. I'm sure Tourigny, the coaches, the video coach, they have better angles than us. If they saw offside, they would have called it. You just have to have that trust with your coaching department, and also the Penguins have the best power play in the league. So if it's a sort of gray, not sure if you'll win the challenge, and then you go on the penalty kill immediately into the game against the top power play in the league, that could be a recipe for disaster. Yes, the actual goal was pretty lucky because it's a cross ice into the crease pass by Pittsburgh. It hits off, it pinballs off Schmaltz's leg and into the net. It wasn't even a direct shot, the actual goal that happens. So Utah's down 1-0. You don't like that, but Utah didn't waver. They just started after the face-off draw into the attacking mode. Consistent pressure in the offensive zone. It seemed like it was a 0-0 game after that 1-0 lead by Pittsburgh. Like, it didn't even phase the Utah Mammoth. They actually do get a power play. They don't score on it, but they had pretty good movement. The power play, the PP number 1 unit did. I noticed a lot of turnovers, Utah trying to force themselves into the offensive zone right at the blue line. It seemed like 2 or 3 times Pittsburgh was just shutting down Utah at the blue line and causing turnovers to go the other way. And on one of those turnovers, I believe it was Gunther reaches to try and correct his mistake of giving the puck away, and he gets called for a penalty. So now they're on the penalty kill against Pittsburgh, the number 1 power play in the league. And thankfully they do kill it off. And after that kill, Olli Maatta has the puck. He enters the offensive zone. A lot of time and space, and he's looking for Stenlund at the back door, but Stenlund can't get his stick on it. Everyone was watching Maatta, the goalie, the Pittsburgh defense. He had a lot of time with the puck in the O-zone, and he's looking to pass it off for Stenlund for that open net. But the puck goes down the other way into the Mammoth zone, and a bad clearing attempt, not even bad this time, very unlucky. A clearing attempt hits a Pittsburgh's body, and it bounces right in front of Vejmelka, and there's a Pittsburgh player alone with Vejmelka. Vejmelka does get a huge chunk of the shot, but it goes through him, and it's 2-0 Pittsburgh in the first period. You don't like to see goals that go through your goaltender. He got a piece of it. You want him to squeeze that sort of wing area and not let that goal happen, but a very unfortunate bounce that led to a pretty good grade A chance for Pittsburgh. So it's 2-0 Pittsburgh. Krause, it seems like Utah does score the first goal of the game. Krause, off a point shot rebound, has it on his backhand, but he hits the post. Even Dylan Gunther thought Krause scored. He puts his hand in the air, but unfortunately it hits the post, and they go on a penalty kill again, and fortunately they do kill it off. So they head into the second period down 2-0. I like the way they played 5-on-5. They pretty much were controlling the play, dictating the play, having consistent O-zone pressure. They outshot Pittsburgh only 8-6, but the shot attempts were 24-9 in favor of Utah. And as the game goes on, that gap widens to like a hilarious number. But Utah was unlucky. I agree. One bad mistake on that first goal by Sergachev, But other than that, just stick with it and be a little bit more disciplined in this second period. So we go into the second period. There's a 2-on-1 with Crosby, and Durzi breaks up the 2-on-1 beautifully. Great job there. But Pittsburgh does make it 3-0 shortly after that. A bad pinch by Mata. No forward covers Mata pinching. Just a bad breakdown in the O-zone. Leaves a Pittsburgh player all alone at center ice. It's like a mile between this Pittsburgh player on the breakaway and then next closest Mammoth player, which is Ian Cole. So this guy's got all the time in the world. He beats Vejmelka on a breakaway. This is the third time this season where we've seen a breakaway from like center ice and the Mammoth players don't know there's a player behind them on a breakaway or wide open. Happened against Vegas a couple weeks ago. Happened against LA a week ago. Their first game of the homestand, and now against Pittsburgh. So whatever that mistake is, like, you need to know where all the opposition players are on the ice at all times. But Utah, again, they're down 3-0. It doesn't feel like it. They just continue to play their game. They have so many shot attempts in this game, and a lot of shots are getting blocked. A lot of shots are missing the net. But they have a few high danger chances and really good looks, but the puck's just not going into the net. There is a power play in the middle of the second period. It takes them a minute to even set up in the O-zone, and Keller eventually just loses the handle of the puck, and the power play 1 unit goes off the ice. So PP2 comes out, and there's a nice Hayden to Carcone one-timer in the slot that gets denied by the inexperienced goaltender of the Pittsburgh Penguins. About 9 minutes left in the second. Shot attempts were 38-13. Nearly tripling the shot attempts Utah was against the Penguins, and the shots on goal were 11-8, and Utah gets another power play and another unlucky bounce. Schmaltz gets the puck in the slot, beats the goaltender, but doesn't beat the knob of the stick. Like, that's like, I don't even know how big a knob of a goaltender's end of the stick is, like 2 centimeters, like a quarter of an inch. Just they had that Kraus post, they have this knob save, they have those 2 bounces that lead to goals against. So it really shouldn't be 3-0. Like, Utah had their chances. They were just not getting any bounces or any lucky breaks, even though they were commanding the play. So we go into the third period. Utah outshot Pittsburgh 11-4 in that second period. At the start of the third, the shot attempts were 52-17. Just incredible. Like, what a road game. Like just unbelievable stuff by Utah, but very, very frustrating. I mean, I was just beside myself how they were down 3-0, how they haven't scored, how inept they are at scoring. They just got to put puck in net. Every single analytic, expected goals, 5-on-5 possession, just totally dominating the Pittsburgh Penguins. If you're just looking at stats, everything was in Utah's favor except the only one that matters, which was a scoreboard. And then we look at Saturday night, where Pittsburgh had a 5-1 lead against the Sharks, and they lost that game 6-5 in overtime. The Sharks scored 4 goals in the third period to claw their way back, or swim, or whatever Sharks do, to tie the game. And so that was in the back of my mind. Like, it's not even 24 hours later. It's like that game was Saturday night, this game Sunday afternoon. Pittsburgh's got that in the back of their mind. They blew it large. They blew a huge lead, 5-1. That's unprecedented. And so that's in the back of their mind. And a minute into the third, Utah scores their first goal of the game, Nate Schmidt, to make it 3-1. Assisted by Schmaltz and Peterka. It's a Peterka shot that Schmaltz tips in the crease, and Schmidt gets the rebound off to the side. He just throws it to the direction of the net, and it goes in. And then 15 seconds later, Utah scores again, a flurry of goals. It's Michael Carcone, who seems to be having one of his best years, other than that time where he scored 20 goals. So I still can't believe he scored 20 goals in an NHL season. But Carcone picks up the puck off a defensive zone face-off and just skates with the puck all the way to the net. He gets a shot off. It gets saved. He sticks with it. The puck's off the rebounds, directing to behind the net, and he just turns and throws the puck. It hits off the side of the net, hits off the goalie's back, hits off the goalie's pad, and into the net. Utah's finally getting those lucky bounces they were missing. Pittsburgh takes a timeout and it doesn't work. Utah just continues with the consistent attacking pressure, and they end up tying the game only 5 minutes and 50 seconds into the third. It's Sean Durzi with a nice shot from the top of the circle, beats the goaltender. Pittsburgh actually challenges this goal for goaltender interference. Stenlund is in the crease area, but he gets pushed into the goalie. Not even into the goalie, he gets pushed into the crease vicinity by the Pittsburgh defenseman. I didn't see much contact there, and at the end of the day, Stenlund's only there because the defenseman pushed him into that area. So they call it a good goal, and Pittsburgh gets penalized with a penalty for failing the challenge. And on that power play, Utah scores to take the lead. It's Carcone, assisted by Hayden and Boots. Daniel Boots' first NHL point. Cross-ice one-timer, Hayden to Carcone. We saw that in the second period. A nice Hayden to Carcone one-timer. That time saved. This time, Carcone scores his second of the game. Utah's up 4-3. They get another power play. Like, they were calling a lot of power plays for Utah. Utah had 5 power plays in this game. They don't score on it. Shot attempts were 73-25 with 7 minutes left in the third. And then finally, it seemed like Pittsburgh came to life. It was like their first sustained 5-on-5 shift late in the third, and they tie it up 4-4. It's a shot from the top of the circle that gets tipped right in front of Vejmelka. It's a tip so close to the goalie where the goalie can't even react. What you want there is a defenseman to box out that player in front of your goalie, take away the stick, but more importantly, and your first thing to do is take out the body right in front of Vejmelka. It seemed like it was a bit too easy of real estate so close to Vejmelka. So we go into overtime. Utah outshot Pittsburgh 17-6 in that third period. What an incredible comeback from the Utah Mammoth. And in overtime, guess who? It's Dylan Guenther with the game-winning goal. Casually, gingerly walks into the offensive zone, not threatening at all, and just rips it out of nowhere. It hits off a stick, the goalie's pad, and it goes into the net. And Utah wins their first game on a 3-game road trip, 5-4 against the Penguins. They have Boston and Detroit back-to-back Tuesday and Wednesday night. They outshot Pittsburgh 37-16 in the shot total game. Power play 1 for 5. They had a lot of power play opportunities before the third period, which they should have scored. This would have made the game so much easier. You do not want your team to consistently make comebacks like this. Like, this is unsustainable, unprecedented. You hang your hat. You guys did it. Like, this is like once in a season comeback, but your power play should have helped you out throughout this game to get that momentum. If they scored a power play goal in the first or second period, they had 3 or 4 chances. It just makes this game so much easier. And the fact that the power play is still a bit struggling, even though the fourth goal they scored was on the power play, it took them until their 4th or 5th power play to do that. PK perfect, 2 for 2 against the power play leading Pittsburgh Penguins, which is great. And face off 48%. 5-on-5 possession, first period, 75%. Utah had the possession 5-on-5. It goes down to 71. That's still really high. And in the third, 64% of possession. That is still really high. Like, to have that much possession compared to your opponent 5-on-5, just a great, like, one of their best 5-on-5 games. Consistent too. Like, I feel like this was a 60-minute great 5-on-5 effort by Utah, and eventually it was going to come, and they just exploded with offense. They still need to work on their finishing. It seems like their offense is inept. I don't know what to do. Like, the coach can't be on the ice and tell them how to put puck in net. They're getting the chances. They have the momentum. They have the possession. They're generating high danger chances. The puck needs to go across that line and into the mesh. And thankfully it did 4 times in the third period. So that's it for me. Thanks for watching. If you like what you see, spread the word. And as always, thank you for your support.